And welcome to the In 90 Minutes podcast. Happy Monday. Well, not so happy Monday, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm Ahmed Salim with the whole crew here. We have a special guest with us today. Luke is filling in for Misael. Welcome, Luke. Thank you for joining. Aside from that, we have John and David with us. How's everybody doing on this playoff stretch Monday? We'll call it. How we doing,
All
gentlemen?
right.
John, you sound so excited, man.
I know.
Not as
I can't
exciting
I
as
can't wait
not
to
as
hear
exciting
about
as
that.
last night's game was.
Yeah, for me, I missed last Monday. Fantastic show. It was great to um, listen to it because usually, I don't listen to ourselves because I was already part of the conversation.
Yes.
So it was nice. Great job again by the guys, and glad to have Luke here filling in for Misael, who's out coaching Little League Baseball. Happy 5786 to our Jewish friends. I won't be here next Monday as another holiday falls on Monday. It'll be the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot. So I'll have to go out there with the fam to close the high holiday season. And a quick thing, I didn't get to go to the game. Incredible game. It has been 10 years since the last time I had to work a Saturday. I had a bunch of crap go wrong on Friday. Ended up working 10 hours on Saturday. Uh, Down the road from the stadium, felt the energy, felt the noise. Sad that I wasn't there, but I caught the last 10 minutes and I got to see us escape with the 3 points. Obviously, that wasn't the case this weekend. We'll talk all about it.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody watching us live, and thank you to everybody who's watching us on the recordings. Just a quick reminder, if you don't already, please follow, like, and subscribe our socials: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Blue Sky, as In 90 Minutes Podcast. You can always watch us on live on Mondays on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. Uh, if you watch us after the fact, you can also consume your podcasts on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and a variety of platforms that they're available on. Phew. All right. That's my little spiel. So before we get into the first team, do we have any pride news to discuss, or OCB? OCB had a match, I believe, right? If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
Pride played Friday night against San Diego Wave. Came out with a win. Been a long time coming. Feels like they haven't won a league match in forever. They jumped from seventh up to fifth. Better match from them overall. I didn't get to see much of it. Friday nights are just so hard to catch matches. Period. But seemed like a better attack. A little better attacking. They scored 2 goals, which they haven't done. Seemingly haven't done in forever. So it's a good match. They do have the CONCACAF Women's Champions Cup tomorrow at Club America, 9 p.m. kickoff. Big match, huge match actually. It's probably one of the tougher teams they could face. No, that was Tigres we signed her from. My bad. So we'll see how they do. Trying to see what station it's on. Usually I look for the game before. It is on Paramount tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Very cool.
So right now, Club America, we have a game in hand for the group play. Club America has a 1 point advantage, so if the Pride win, we'll go up two points, still with the game in hand. So that's a pretty big deal. And then they also have a match on, I believe, keeps backing out too far. I couldn't find a graphic for it, or I would have put it up. They do have a match, this Friday against Houston Dash, 8 p.m. It's in Houston. Game will be televised, I think. It's on Amazon Prime. Yep, Friday at 8 p.m. It'll be on Amazon Prime.
All right. Good luck to them on that. It's nice to hear that they're coming out of the little slump that they had. So hopefully it's it continues.
Yep, and then OCB, they played Saturday night. Played to a draw. I personally forgot to watch it. I was watching college football and then looked, and it was in like the 89th minute, and I'm like, oh well, oops, forgot they were on. But came away with 2 points because MLS Next Pro does the penalties after if full time ends in a draw. So we got the 2 points. Still below the playoff line by 2 points or by a point to Toronto FC2. So they do have a big match against Cincinnati, who's also below the playoff line. But if we win, we have a pretty good chance of advancing, making the playoffs. Their next match, the match on Sunday, um, is a home match. It's their last home match of the season, last match of the season, last home match of the season, and they do have a ticket deal if you were at the last match or know somebody that was at the last match. They are doing a $3 ticket deal. I don't know if there's a deadline on it. I do have to look, but they do have that going on. So try to show up for the boys. Don't know who's going to be, who's going to be back next year. A lot of things can happen. Um, we got a lot of young players that prove themselves on Orlando City Bees that could be on their way out the door here shortly.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And quick thing on OCB, Carolina Core was the opponent. Alice had the winner. Unfortunately, hit the crossbar, but Mercado once again proving that he has a future in this club with 2 stops. Defensively, to be honest with you, we did great. Obviously you look, oh, you conceded 3 goals. How could that be? But we fought like animals. We came back from being down 2 goals, and against a hostile crowd, and we managed to snatch the vital 2 points. Um,
um, um,
Unfortunately, I won't be able to go to the game on Sunday because in my house I'm only allowed one game a weekend. So if you have the opportunity to go, please go support the boys. They definitely deserve it. And like John said, there's a lot of people that are not going to be here next year. Kudos also to the guys from OCB that played 90 minutes in North Carolina the night before, and then went to Cincinnati to sit on the bench. That takes a lot of commitment. And I don't want to name anybody because I don't want to leave anybody behind. But if you could go look at that sub list, you know who they were, and I'm so proud of the OCB boys because that we keep saying OCB boys, but in reality they're Orlando City. They and a lot of these guys come from our academy, so they serve a lot of our respect and a lot of our love, and I see great futures for every single one of them.
yeah, massive game. I just wanted to add just a little bit to that. Like massive game on that Sunday. We're on the OCB's on 37 points for the season. Must win because if you win, you're on 40. That moves you to seventh, but it's still not guaranteed. You're still relying on other teams' results. So all you have to do is win, and then just hope the results on the other games go your way. So yeah, luckily I see that Carolina core are playing in the next game New York Red Bulls, who are top of the league. So maybe they could do a favor for OCB and get, New York Red Bulls can get a win. So if all goes well, they could actually end up in the playoffs. But all they have to do is just do their own business and win outright. I don't even think winning and getting an extra point is good enough. You just have to win outright. That's all.
Okay. All right. So, any other business we need to talk about before we go head first into the inevitable?
Yeah. Quick thing. Around the league, Sergio Busquets has announced that he's retiring, and well, so much for the suspension in League's Cup next year. Also, for the Orlando City Sickos, this past weekend, Junior Urso and Rafael Santos score respectively for Colorado and Houston. They're no longer Orlando City players, but they're beloved in this town, and I have happy memories of those players. So I'm happy they're doing what they're doing. On one note that is gonna rub people the wrong way, Ramiro Enrique keeps being a menace in Saudi Arabia, scoring goals. We already knew that that was gonna happen. And last but not least, a man that close to my heart, a giant in this club in the USL era, Dom Dwyer, scored his first goal of the season, a winner for Mansfield Township. I believe they were playing Rotherham. And I know that's look. I know that's not how you pronounce it. In the states, HAM is ham. How do you
Yeah,
say it?
Rotherham.
Thank you, brother. A lot to. I'm telling you, I drive my friends
It's
crazy.
David. You forgot New England. New England would pronounce it the way Luke pronounced it.
Yeah,
Right, that's true. That's true. When not
it's
to
Rotherham.
deviate, when I have been in New England, I have doing work. I had a hard time pronouncing some of the towns' names because it's either Norse or Old English. I mean, come on,
Well,
I'm
it's like
speaking
that. There's
English.
a town up there that when I lived up there, that is spelled. If you look at it,
I gotta
spelled.
give you a good one because I was there 2 years
Oh,
ago.
this is one
Worcester.
of the more simple ones. This isn't like Worcester or anything like that. But it was spelled out. Looked like Peabody. I think it was Peabody.
Peabody's pronounced Peabody.
Yeah, no, Peabody.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
because my
it's
friend
an I. It's not
Michael
a.
Rue was from there in the Navy, and he used to drive. He used to drive him crazy when people mispronounce it. So I
Yeah,
know that
there's towns all over the place up there. Worcester's one of them.
Yep.
cool. So that's that. I mean, take us
Yeah.
to the hostilities that happened.
I there's some things you just don't want to relive, and this was one of them. So this past Sunday, we took a flight up to Cincinnati, Ohio, at TQL Stadium. We took on FC Cincinnati at their hometown, and last week luck was on our side. This week, some people would argue the same, that luck was on our side. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we it was a draw. It was not. Um, it was not the type of performance that you like to see from the team. I think we had a lot of shots on goal. People would argue that we had a lot of shots on goal, but in this sport that we play, the shots don't count if they don't go in, right? And with that many shots on goal, to not have them go in was a little frustrating. I'm not saying the guys weren't frustrated. You saw Oscar's was frustrated. I think that's probably the most frustrated I've seen Oscar in a long time. So I feel like the desire was there, but the finishing was not. Um, this the and I know we'll talk about this, but to me, the issue I have with all of this right now is that if the playoffs started today, it will be a rematch of this very match that we just watched. And if we play the way we've been playing the last few matches, I can already tell you where I think we're going to go. And by the way, speaking of the playoffs, you have one more week, Monday the 6th, if you are a season ticket holder, to opt out or opt in to your season tickets for the playoffs. So just be aware of that. that deadline. If you are a season ticket member, that's the deadline to do so. And it's by belief that if you don't opt out, you're automatically opted in. So if you are planning on attending all of the matches that we play, however many or few there may be,
Hmm.
you don't need to take any action. So
I forgot last year. It cost me dearly because I had stuff going on. I couldn't make it.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, you don't want to be like that.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, so it was underwhelming for me. The match, it was exciting to see us take some. There were some great opportunities, but they just went. It fizzled for me. It fizzled really quick, and I feel like the opportunities we had, we shouldn't have missed to some extent. I don't know how we missed them. Could their goalkeeper had been having a good day also? I'll let you have that one. So I'll open the floor there, and I have some other thoughts, but I'm sure they'll come up. But something to keep in mind is we have a whole bunch of players, um, very talented players that have scored a tremendous amount of goals. So for me, it was just super frustrating to watch. Like at one point, I just wanted to turn it off for a little while and come back and hope for the best. So thoughts, gentlemen? Who wants to go?
I
Go
go
ahead,
first.
Dave.
These people are.
I'm getting my stuff
Uh,
prepared. My
yeah,
computer's
for
real
sure.
quick.
I'll be quick. Before we started recording, Luke and I were talking about our respective English teams in League One, and we were discussing how when things go wrong, the manager gets sacked because there's no room for error because relegation is a real thing there.
Mhm.
Here in MLS, we tend to have this blase, let life be attitude that drives some people crazy, me included. I want to win, and we went to Cincinnati. We had so many great opportunities in front of goal. I watched the game in Spanish, and the people that were on the call they kept saying Orlando's not winning this game because they don't want to. Excuse me,
Mhm.
they don't want to. The opportunity that Robin Jansen had,
Oh my
criminal,
gosh.
criminal. That was football terrorism. It's taking life out of me to see our guys put themselves in dangerous positions and not scoring goals. And I want to remind everybody that the only goal for Orlando City came from a defender. And also, Spicer. Wow, wow, wow. I guarantee you the Toronto front office right now has to be shoving sharp objects in their eyes for making such a blunder of a decision.
Oh, they're
Also,
fuming. They are fuming
oh,
about
they
this.
have to be, brother. They have to be. They have to be. They have to be. We fleeced them, and I'll turn the microphone here in a second. The situation is as follows. Just like Ahmed said, if we finish today, guess what, buddy? We're facing this team.
Replay.
Cincinnati,
Rematch.
replay. Cincinnati is very good. They have they have a hostile environment. And a fantastic stadium. We have to say it.
Yeah.
They are like us.
And it
They
would literally be away. It would be an
Yes,
away match for us.
and one of the things that people tend to forget, this is a team, this is a fan base that just like us was born in USL, came to MLS, weather a storm that we never had to experience. We were bad, but not that bad. Okay, and they have experienced success as of late, and they're gonna give us a run for our money. Personally, I'm puzzled by how in the world teams can make 50 points this year and still not guarantee a permanent spot because right now it's us and Columbus who are on that. Will they make the wild card game? Will they not? So to me, Saturday, not to get ahead, but Saturday is very important. I'm very concerned that a lot of people that I respect a ton, are sort of downplaying the importance of Saturday. But again, hopefully Luke will go down this route because with the English accent it sounds more legit when he says it. But the reality is that I follow a team in England where there's consequences when you lose games. consequences that cost people their jobs, consequences that cost money. And here in MLS, unfortunately, we don't have relegation, so therefore, we don't get to where we need to be. And okay, well, next year we'll try. And the happy clappers and the cornhole tailgate champions need to understand this once and for all, that making the playoffs at this point, yes. By the way, congratulations, 6 year in a row, yay! But if we get to the dance only to hold a wall, then we're not doing anything. You have to go to the dance, pick the pretty girl, be crowned king. Otherwise, why bother, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think as a fan base, and not honestly, not just as a fan base in general, the sport within the country, there's still a long way to go. Because in order for us to do that and people be okay with it, it's going to take a long time. We look at things a bit differently because, like you said, we have the teams that we support. I mean, my international team sacked their coach before the FIFA Club World Cup, so they have a new one, and they just sacked him because their season was off to a garbage start. So
I
that's
saw a video that they won something this week.
yeah. It was well, they just played today and they won. It was like a derby, a local team derby. But still, it's just it's the expectation of the fans, and the fans don't stand for it. The fans as a whole, there's not people that do and people that don't, and I feel that's a big difference with the sport here. But that's just my
It's a
opinion.
culture thing. That's
That's
all.
exactly.
It's a culture,
Yeah.
and let's just. I'm gonna. There is culture, but it's very early culture.
Hmm.
Like it's gonna change. It's gonna evolve. It's gonna be something different. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's gonna be even 10 years from now. It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
It's completely different. There's traditions, there's expectations. Like how many clubs around the English Football League or around the world can say that you guys support that you are older than that you are young like older than your football club. Like I'm older than Orlando. Like that is the thing is
Yeah.
like is it's a culture thing. That's all,
Yeah.
and it's gonna have a lot of bumps in the road. For I don't we have yet to know. We're in the unknown. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are in the beginning of this chapter of this football club. There's going to be multiple years ahead of us. There's going to be a lot of pain and a lot of hopefully a lot of triumph, but there's definitely going to be a lot of pain. Um, but yeah, it's this is the way it is it's football, and as much as there's no relegation or whatever, people need to have a sense of expectation. People need to have a sense of, you know, we've spent this much money on this team. We need to succeed, you know? And I think I've seen a few clubs do it, like Toronto, but that again, it's completely different because they do have that European style mentality where they're kind of in that mindset of, yeah, we do deserve success. And like,
Mhm.
it kind of has that. But in the sense of us, I think we need to demand more, especially from our players, because we are paying them a lot of money and they are paid to play the game. As much as it's, you know, whatever, it's like, oh yeah, we'll just go get them next game. You know, next game one game turns into two and turns into three. Next thing you know, look where we are now. We're at the end of the season. Do we want to be fighting? We're not. Are we fighting for top four? I don't think so. But we just need to, get a move on this,
Well,
and
the argument would be we can make it to top four.
we could,
We
but
could, but
we
I
have
could
to
also win
rely
the
on other
lotto.
people.
You
Yeah,
know, I mean, a lot of things could happen.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like,
It will. We have 9 point. Well, was it 3 games, right? If my math doesn't fail me, that's 9 points. 61 points possible right now that we can get, and if we do, there's a possibility, not a fact, a possibility of hosting. Okay, and At the same time, we're going on the premise that some top teams will get eliminated along the way. Um, I would like to mention this real quick. I don't talk much about my team, Maccabi Haifa. They're going through some turmoil right now because they went 13 years winning nothing, then for 5 years beating the pants out of everybody, and right now in Israel, interestingly, in the first division they have 14 teams, and from 1 to 6 they have playoffs for the championship, and from 7 to 14 they have playoffs for relegation. And right now my team is 2 points above that relegation zone. So the manager has been given till Sunday to turn it around, or he's gone. And again, this is a powerhouse team that has an expectation to win, just like Ahmed's team in Egypt. We don't have that level of
No.
demands here, and personally, I think that um, that it's a tough battle, guys. It's a really tough battle to expect winning every single game. Things can happen. One thing I didn't like, guys, about this game was the fact that the referee was handing yellow cards to our guys for mere infractions. Meanwhile, Cincinnati will do it, and no harm, no foul. Also, Ramiro Enrique, Rodrigo Schlegel. What were you thinking, my friend? I mean, for your grandchildren are gonna see the meme.
that
What were you
that
thinking?
picture is gonna come back to haunt us. That whole thing is gonna come back to haunt us on social media like there's no tomorrow, man. Somebody in that camera booth from Apple TV said, "Turn on." They saw that and they said, "Turn to that body camera because this is going to be the body camera example that everybody's gonna look at for like the next years." Oh my god.
But you talk about how bad the refereeing was, David, and how they were giving us yellows. And I don't think it was necessarily one sided. I just think the ref was terrible in general. But they missed to me, it was a clear red card on Evander when he elbowed Atuesta in the face. You saw his arm extend behind him. You saw his shoulder extend, his whole shoulder extend like this. Ball goes that way, and then you see him go back. I exaggerated to show, but you saw his body go back towards Atuesta's face or body, whatever. And they didn't even have the referee come over and take a look. To me, that's as clear and obvious as it gets for something like that. And they don't not that it would have done us much good because we were terrible against 10 men, but it that was just about the referees. They're not the reason we lost at all. The referee is not the reason we lost, but I just thought that was an interesting, something interesting that was missed.
Right. By the way, we tied, and I like you, John. I
Or
feel
tied,
it's a
whatever.
loss.
I,
It's a
I
loss.
look at it as a loss.
It's a loss.
At this point
Absolutely.
in the season, if we don't win, it's a loss. We
Absolutely,
dropped
John. I'm
points.
with you. And funny thing that you bring that up, because Atuesta got a yellow at the beginning of the game where he never made contact with the player, and you can see it on his body cam. Why VAR did not? I get it. It's a yellow card, so it's not reviewable or whatnot. But
Yellow cards should be reviewable, period.
should.
It,
It should.
it,
It
it
should.
impacts the game. If it can lead directly to a red card eventually, it needs to be reviewed.
And
And
that
I said that before everything happened at the Miami match. I've been saying that since I
which,
started
by the
BLO.
way, the poll now got fined for simulation. Too late, because it did not impact the game that he was fined for, and also did not impact the game that we played in League's Cup, where Brecalo is given a yellow when he never touched his face, anyways.
Wait,
And
who got fined for simulation?
the poll,
DePaul
Nice.
against
Oh, it's
New
about
York State.
time.
yeah, he's been
Wow.
doing it forever.
But you
He's like,
look,
"Oh,
but that's where I'm going with it though, David. You look at what happened with Brecalo. It's a yellow card. He didn't even make contact with his face at all. Didn't even make contact with his body with the motion that they called the foul on. They should be able, since it was a yellow card, should be able to go review the play, withdraw, and at least withdraw the yellow card. Foul, whatever. That
I
doesn't
agree with that. I
really
think like
change
in a
that.
situation like DePaul's, like what happened, Brecolo's yellow should be rescinded. If he's fined
Yeah.
if he is fined for uh simulation, then yeah, absolutely. Even
Well,
if
I'm
it's
not
after
even
the fact.
saying. I'm saying in the match.
No, I know, but I'm saying even
Because you
after
look
the
at what
match, like
happened in the Leagues Cup match with Miami. Breclo gets a second yellow. He gets sent off.
yeah.
A yellow card completely changes how the game has to be played.
I am 1,000%, John. I'm 1,000% with you. And and the problem that I see with this is if yellow card accumulation throughout the game does alter the outcome.
Hmm.
The referee in this sport, by his decisions, he can steer the way in one direction.
Can we
I
just bring back sin bins? Can we bring them back? Like 10 minutes out of the game, yellow card.
Yeah,
Like
oh my
bring
god,
back sin bins.
you're bringing something up. I just I
Don't
wanted to
say that
mic
too loud.
because
The league talked about bringing, introducing them to the MLS last year.
like in indoor soccer.
Indoor
Yeah, like
soccer,
sin
hockey,
bin.
whatever. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like the penalty box.
yeah, with the blue card. Remember that? Oh man, the blue card was the sin bin for 2 minutes. A
But
lot of fun.
um I'm gonna disagree with you. I think a point is not a disaster. Like we were lucky to get a point out of that game after, controversially, I'm playing devil's advocate here, a disastrous performance from us in the
Yeah.
circumstance that we had 6 shots on target and didn't get at least 2 or 3 goals. So for us to get a point is not a disaster. I understand what you mean. I agree with you, but getting a point out of that game, losing that game would have been a disaster. But getting a point still kind of keeps us somewhere near. But if we lost it, it would have been a disaster. But a point,
It
no.
does.
Hey, I
So
just wanna mention something real quick. The FIFA is trying out a new card in some low level leagues. It's a blue card actually,
Hmm.
which results in a 10-minute sin bin penalty for cynical fouls or dissent. Which, by the way, our good friend Robin Jensen probably is going to have to decorate the sin bin at our stadium. Uh, this rule aims to penalize offenses more serious than a yellow card, but less severe than a red card. A player receiving two blue cards in a match or a combination of a yellow and a blue card will be shown a red and sent off. And the
oh,
purpose is to deter cynical tactical fouls and dissent from players towards officials.
well, look
I'm
at all the bloody retirement Miami squad's retiring soon, isn't it? Because that would have been their bloody dream. They would have all been
no
standing
kidding.
in that bloody box, wouldn't they?
They need to
Like
make a bigger box.
Suarez,
They need to make a bigger
Suarez,
They
box.
need to find a sponsor for the Bucks.
Oh,
Suarez.
the MLS will have and will have sponsors for
Solar Bears
everybody.
is Kidobo. Our local
I mean,
hockey team is
Miami would have
Kidobo.
probably put a bed and some food in there for Suarez. Like he would have been in there all the bloody time.
At Solar Bears, they go
Oh my
keeping
God.
him warm in the Kidobo penalty area. So, we got some comments, guys.
Oh my gosh. I'll bring them up. I'll bring them up if you gents could read them.
I got you.
Yeah. Johnny Ridner says, "What's up, gentlemen? Hello,
Copy,
sir.
my
Thank you
friend.
for watching."
Yeah.
And then Misael from the baseball feed says, "We're winning out. We just need others to lose."
It's a
Yeah,
great way to look at it.
but you know what? Yes, absolutely. But you know also what? We put ourselves in this situation in the beginning of the season, and every time we lost a match that we should not have. You know, you know, I
I
feel
mean,
like a broken record.
at this point in the season, I feel like that elderly, family pet that you see maybe a friend has, and it's limping around, it's blind, it's urinating all over the house,
Oh
and
no.
but the family still just wants to hold on. That's how I feel. The last 4 weeks with Orlando City's been 5 weeks with Orlando City's been, if you want to include League's Cup.
But you know what? I agree with you in the sense that the results have gone our way for the most part. Like to Luke's point, right? It's like we've gotten points when we needed them. But for me, it's more about how we're playing.
Yeah,
Like
it's the
if you think,
style of play.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you think about how we've played from the Leagues Cup matches on, that is not how we can't play like that and continue
Mm-hmm.
to think that we're gonna. If we play the way we've been playing, and you think we're gonna make it far into the playoffs, my friend, you have news coming to you. You
Yeah.
know.
So I would like to add on that with I'm gonna say it. It's everyone's star boy, I know, but I'm gonna say it. And I'm blaming Pereira because it's his style of play. Freeman. Like Freeman used to he did it the game, but majority of the game, right, over these last few games, you could see he kind of stops instead of kind of like he runs at defenders, he goes, but when it comes to that you can see he can go and take that final little run and beat him and put that ball in a dangerous area. He seems to kind of cut back a little bit and just stop, just that inch, that just that second,
Hmm.
that it kind of turns a really threatening attack into like kind of a decent attack.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's been told to do that. He's a kid, so he's probably listening to his coaches and stuff like that. I'm not going to deny that. But it's just little things like that where I've noticed from Freeman, where he should be he should be taking it on. He should be taking risks. He's young, and he did do that in the end of the game. But I'm looking at the manager there when it comes to telling him to like kind of hold back a little bit. But I want him to
No,
take.
I agree with you, Luke. And you even look at, not even, I'll say, as complicated as taking somebody on. You just look at the times that he gives up free space to progress the ball,
Yeah,
where there's 15 to 30 yards in front of him that
oh,
he could bring the ball up
exactly.
and
Take the space.
create, take the space, and maybe something comes of it. But instead, he just lays it back to Schlegel. Schlegel passes it over to Janssen.
Yeah,
Janssen passes it back to Schlegel. And it's the same thing. It's just like when Facundo was here and he'd get the ball at midfield and immediately pass it back to, Schlegel or Antonio Carlos when he was back there.
exactly.
But you're 100% right, and that leads me to the big thing I wanted to cover tonight because it came up on Den After Dark yesterday, and I got criticized for you know what I said, which is fine. I'll take the criticism. Um, that Orlando City's lack of scoring was on the coaching as well,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah,
they,
absolutely.
they wanted to say, oh well, we scored 3 goals against Nashville. That's 1 week. Our last 4 matches in MLS play, we've had 75 total shots, 26 of those on goal, on target, for 7 goals. 7 goals, 4 matches. That's a string enough of games for that to be start to become a consistent pattern. In addition to that, we had 14 big chances created. 11 of those missed. I said on the show last week, if we convert half of our big chances against Cincinnati, we win. We converted 1 out of 7.
But according to our coaching staff and according to our front office and whatever, we're perfectly fine because let's get rid of our bloody strikers, right?
Yeah,
Let's get rid of them. We don't need them. We don't need the strikers, lads. We
instead
don't
we're going to
need the
run
strikers.
you call him a donkey, I call him a fat cow out there in crunch time that can barely even get a pass off his foot after running 15 yards.
Oh no.
Like, we get rid of Ramiro, and Ramiro showing his quality over in Saudi Arabia. One, Saudi Arabia is much, except for 2 or 3 teams, is much less of a league than the MLS is. And but he's showing his quality. There's still decent players over there. It's not it's not Sunday league by any means, but it's still professional soccer. But even then, even when Ramiro was here, the first match Ramiro missed was what, the Nashville match? Is that right?
Yeah.
So we had 2 matches with him, and it did it. We were still poor, and it's like, I didn't want to take up the time yesterday on Lions Den, so I hope the right people hear this. The person that kind of came back to me and said he disagreed with me said, Pep Guardiola, said that his job was to get the team to progress the ball to the final third, and once it's the final third, it's up to the players. What he means by that, and he even said that in another book of his that I read, what he means by that is it's up to the players to be movement. He can't. A lot of coaches say that. Ancelotti, Real Madrid's coach, now Brazil's coach, said, I think that's his name. Said the same thing. But when it comes to being, I can't think of the word right now. When it comes to making the shots on target, being clinical with shots on target, that falls on the players and the coaches, which is what I said yesterday. If the coaches aren't training the players to be good enough to be in those positions, or when they get in those positions to be good enough to be clinical enough, if the coaches aren't up for it, then why are they here? If the players aren't up for it, aren't good enough for it, why are they playing for a professional soccer team at this level?
But
we had what? We had basically four point blank shots yesterday. Not in the order, just the order in my head. Freeman, Muriel, Ojeda, and Duncan. Yeah. Duncan, you can kind of give a pass for. A quality striker, you have to put that on frame. But it was a difficult shot. You can make excuses for him. It's only his second or third match back since missing 3 or 4 months. Freeman doesn't even put it on frame. Duncan doesn't put it on frame. Ojeda doesn't put it on frame with his volley attempt. And then Muriel, as usual, makes a poorly timed run. The pass is a little bit behind him, and he doesn't hit it on frame. Those are just 4 examples that I'm sure those 4 of us can picture in our heads of what happened, that you expect a player playing for a team, supposedly, according to our coaching staff and coaches, one of the best 8 teams in the league, to put that in the net. It's not like it's not like we had anybody injured on the front that couldn't have put that in. Oh, Jansson's was the other one, not Freeman. Sorry, Jansson was the one I was thinking of.
I was going to say that it was Janssen.
Yeah, not Freeman. Freeman had one that he could have scored. It was a difficult one. The keeper saved. But Jansson's. So I mean, it's so frustrating, and it's not just yesterday's match. It's the DC match. It's the yes, the Nashville match. We played with a rotated lineup and everything, but we still didn't do anything. Nashville played us. They had a rotated lineup because of injuries in the Open Cup, and they mopped the floor with us at home back at the beginning of the year. We were so lucky to win that match last week because tactically we were so overmatched. Yesterday, we dominated the middle third of the field for the most part, except for the midpoint at the mid 20 minutes of the 30 minutes of the second half. We dominated the majority of the field, but as usual, Poppy coached Orlando City can't find the back of the net to save their lives, and it takes a moment of brilliance from a brand new signing. I find it interesting that we have Marco come in, brilliant, scoring basically a goal a match, and then all of a sudden he can't even sniff a goal, and he's fumbling the ball all over the field. Then we have Spicer come in, brand new signing, and he's making a difference. but he's getting to be, is this going to be a trend where we bring these wingers in? They do well for the first 3 months, and then they get indoctrinized by poppy ball, and then they can't figure out which foot to kick the ball with.
Yeah, I would like to go back and you like you said about like the strikers should know what to do and you shouldn't coach you look at Pep Guardiola, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City, and like he's probably the most prepped coach of all time. Like you're not saying short of quality players, you're dealing with players here who need to be coached, and up top in the front three. So I just wanted to say that, like, as much as people want to say they're professional footballers and whatever, these players are probably League One standard, bottom half championship. Maybe there's a few players who are championship level. They're not good enough, and they need to be coached and they need to be managed, especially when it comes to up top. And we've seen time and time again in other players like who've just been not necessarily ruined, but changed. I would like to use the correct word because I don't want to use like a very subjective word. Changed in the sense of instead of going forward, they stop and they go back and they pass. And you see that as, people we watch football, all of us, it's down to the manager. That's just the way it is. It's down to the manager. The manager wants to play that style of play. He wants to play reserved. He wants to play, you know, safe. And that's all right. But to say it's down to the players and comparing it to Pep Guardiola is just, I don't know.
No, to build on that, I think we're on record. All of us have met Oscar personally, and great guy. I have a ton of respect. He knows who we are. Every time I see him, he's not like, oh, thank. He knows who we are. Um, and I feel that sometimes this, not sometimes, this the fan base has conditioned itself that if any criticism towards Oscar, warranted or not, is lack of faith, lack of love for the club, lack of enthusiasm, and it shouldn't be. I have said it many times. Like nobody pays me, nobody gives me the money to go to the stadium. I work really, really hard. In fact, working really, really hard cost me not being able to go to the last game. And also, you know, at what point with this 6 years of success, because we cannot deny that with the 6 years of success that we had under Oscar, you know, the best we've done is obviously taking Open Cup out of the equation, strictly in MLS. The best we've done is make it into a final where we play conservatively against a team that had no business being that in that final at home. It just irks me because we this year we dropped points to teams that we had no business dropping points to, and rather than talking tonight about fighting for a top spot at home, to host games or perhaps the supporter shield, once again we surrender the privilege of winning silverware for the sake of making it into the playoffs. When in three of those years we did like the Grandpa Simpson meme, where we just took our hat, put it on to the hanger, took it off, put it back on, and left. I mean, people forget that. People forget that Montreal. Like I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Montreal beat us 2-0 at home in their home. A couple of years, the same year that we won the Open Cup. People forget those things. I'm sorry, we have to. I know Ricardo has promised changes in the off season, but guess what? In order to get there, we gotta play these games. We gotta play the playoffs, and it's ridiculous to say, let's just finish this so we can get to open the package, right? See what's in the box. Um, I just not so much on Twitter anymore because I have like blocked and mute half the dumb people that contribute nothing in my life. But on Facebook, you see this a lot in the Facebook groups. Like something happens and you criticize Oscar, and then all of a sudden it's like the same. Oh, you don't love the club, you don't know anything, blah 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 blah. And I'm sorry, when I speak with fans like Luke and our friend Steve from Bradford City. I'm sorry, Stu, and my friends at Stevenage. The difference when you talk to those people is they understand what I'm about to say. Okay, the problem here is that it they work for us. The manager, the staff, nothing in that stadium happens without our dollar and without our time and our efforts. And I just find ridiculous that you cannot criticize the club, otherwise you're a bad guy and you need to be neutralized. And you guys know the story about me. I don't have to rehash it, but people have attack me personally because of expressing those opinions, which that's all they are, opinions. I don't know anything. Tomorrow, right now, we may be on a collision course to win open the league's MLS Cup. We don't know because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But the thing is that getting here the playoffs is no longer, guys. It's no longer. It's an expectation. It's a given. And by the way, we made playoffs this year simply because Red Bulls laid an egg. It was like we won. It was like
That's not how you want to get into the playoffs.
absolutely. Thank you, brother.
You want to get into the playoffs winning your games. Like when I saw and I want John to come in and stuff like that. I don't want to talk too much. This is your show, not mine.
No,
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 Um,
no.
bro, you're a guest, brother. The microphone's on. Go ahead.
no, um, but when I saw that we got into the playoffs, I'm like, yay, big whoop! Like we got into the playoffs, but we need to win games to get into the playoffs. Like I want to win games. Like I would rather go win a game than we're in the playoffs, and like it's like on a high, not rely on other people to get results for us in the sense. And I'm like, it's just that's not the way football is, and that's expectations, right? Expectations.
Absolutely, you're being
My
gifted.
home, my home team, right? Like is what second bottom of the league at the moment. Second bottom of League One. We have Steve Bruce as our manager, multi-millionaire, Premier League manager. I want him gone. Like as much as he's an experienced manager, I want him gone because he's not doing the business. He's not getting results. It's 10 games in, he's not doing it. And in this case, we're sitting eighth in the table. Going back to Orlando, we're eighth in the table. We need to be doing better with the players that we have. We have to be doing better. We have to be winning our games. You know, we have to be doing better at home. I'm sick and tired of like sitting here watching us play at home and not taking the front foot. And it has to get to a point where it's the style of play. Everyone knows it's the style of play.
Well,
So we
you look
just
at a record, Luke. It looks like a middle of the table Serie A team in Italy.
yeah, yeah.
14 wins, 10 draws, 7 losses. I mean, 10 draws, people. And the people that
10.
try to say, "Oh, you can't criticize Poppy," Poppy's untouchable, whatever. That it's nothing personal.
It's
It's just like
business.
if you went to this steak restaurant that had potential to be amazing, the
No,
best the best steakhouse, the best restaurant, anywhere,
no,
and
but
you go
so
there and it has this world-renowned chef, that you know all of this, and it's okay. You go and eat there a couple times, and it's like one night it's really, really, really good. The next night you could have went to, and no disrespect to these restaurants because I love this specific restaurant, but you could have got it at Chili's, you
So
know. And
I wanted to say
like
this.
you're not supposed to complain. Oh, the chef's not doing his job. And then certain people say, well, the chef's not the one actually doing the cooking. He's really not. He's giving the cooks and the ingredients and the recipes. But it's really no different than comparing it to Orlando City, where you go one night and it's absolutely incredible. We beat Miami. What was it, 4-1 at home? Team looks incredible. A bunch of players get Players of the Week. Coach gets Coach of the Week in the league. All of this, and then you go to our next home match, and we lay an egg. It's terrible. You could have went and saw better, a more exciting match down the road at a high school, and you see this over and over and over, and now we're in year 6 of the same thing, and it's that's what I'm getting to is that. And that's what gets me is that it's not like it's a new thing popping up every time where, oh, so and so got injured. You know, Marco got injured. We have nobody to replace him on the right side, or Freeman got injured. There goes a huge, big, probably bigger than Marco because of everything Freeman does. But Freeman gets hurt. Okay, that's a big deal. He's out for 6 months. He's out for 2-3 months. That's a big deal. That's something that isn't the coach's fault. But when we're talking year after year, match after blown match, whether it's a loss or draw after blown match,
Yeah.
you know,
But you know what it is, John? Nobody thinks about it like that because what do we talk about? We've reached the playoffs 6 years in a row. Nobody says we reached the conference finals last year because that's an accomplishment, right? Compared to what we've done in the past.
Yeah, because it's better.
But nobody looks at that because we lost, right? But if I were looking at it, I'd be like, you know what? We didn't just make the playoffs. We made it to the conference final that we lost to at home against the Red Bulls and the whole. But we made it to the conference. But nobody thinks like that because everybody just gets the playoffs and they're like, okay, we made it to the playoffs. Everything else is just icing on the cake. No, it's like we need to want more. We need to expect more. That's just.
Yeah, I mean, anymore making the playoffs just means you didn't have a train wreck of a season.
Yep.
That means you're one of the you're in the 66th percentile or whatever, 60 whatever it is, 60th percentile. Yeah. It means nothing, and and then the other thing David brought up was Ricardo, and we went back and forth. David and I did in our group text. Looks like JJ was right about the Wilfs. I know David hates hearing that, but they've only brought in players when we've needed them. Yes, Spicer was a great pickup. I'm not going to say he wasn't, but you look at who we brought in this year. We brought in Marco, needed a starting white right winger. Brought in Atuesta. Well, Cartagena went down with a season-ending injury. Year before that, we brought in Muriel, who hasn't worked out, but we still tried. But Duncan had a foot and a half out the door, and if it wasn't for that club's faculty being
Blackburn's secretary there screwing it up,
doing us a favor. Somebody from Orlando paid her off.
Yeah, and I put it in our group chat, and I'm not going to look it up, but you look at what we spent the Will's first year here, and it was really just essentially one signing, which was Facundo. But every year since, our spendings went down or stayed about the same within $1 million. And look at what the transfer market's doing around the world. It's just getting more and more and more and more expensive. The inflation in the transfer market is way worse than it is in real life.
Yeah.
And, you got players now going for $100 million when, Cristiano Ronaldo, when one of his transfers set a record at like $92 million, $93 million, I think it was.
I think it was from United to Real Madrid.
Yeah,
but I think they got.
I mean, he'd go for what now? $400 million, probably.
Oh, he'd go for like 5, 6.
Exactly.
That's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
So
not,
if you so the Wilfs aren't given anybody the money to do anything. Cool, they've made improvements. Oh, it was the new seats. Yeah, there's going to be new seats at the stadium. Everybody, that's what brought it up. New luxury seats in section 119 and 120.
Oh
go
yeah,
on then.
the sideline social.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's basically for those that don't know, it's gonna be the same seating that all the old section one now has.
that
I heard,
explains things too. It
uh,
just hit me, Luke.
yeah,
I'll tell you after the show.
I heard it's like 2K per seat per season. Um,
Wow,
um,
really? That's
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean,
for
still,
what it is. It's a lot, I
It's
you
think.
know,
all
if, for
inclusive.
2 grand you can get 4 seats in my section. So it's
It's
quite some
all
money.
inclusive though, and I believe you get a waiter coming back and forth from
Right, bringing you
for
food,
extra
so
seat.
unlimited food. I mean, if you're a power drinker, which I'm not because I drive myself to the games, and you have dietary restrictions like me,
Yeah, but
it's
that's
not a good deal.
pricey when you compare it to like the East Club. That's pricey because the East Club is all inclusive and it's cheaper than that. And I think, I mean, if the seats are a little nicer on the West Side because they're higher, there's the higher
And
seats.
you're in the shade,
Yeah, but I mean, wow,
and
that's
you got West Club food brought
no,
to
I
you.
don't think so. It's not West Club food. It's
Really?
grab and go. That's what when I haven't spoken to anybody because I was really curious. It's
So
grab
what
and go.
the waiter, that person brings you food from where in section one right now? Where does that
Oh,
food come from?
section one, that's different. Section one, they do bring you food, but section one is crazy expensive, honestly, for what it is, and the fact that it's not covered. That whole terrace thing
Uh
that they
huh.
have, that's
And
expensive,
you can't see
and that's
the
a multi-year commitment too. That's not just like buy tickets for the one season.
really?
really.
Yeah, that section
Yeah, I remember
is
you
like,
talking about that
yeah,
last year when they announced
it's like a commit. I'm like, absolutely not, and
No,
you
no,
can't
because
even
you don't know
cover
what
my head for that.
jobs
Like,
can
get
they
the hell
change
out of here.
everything.
You better come with an umbrella and ponchos for like half the season.
Wait,
To throw
so
my
we
person.
have to sign a multi-million dollar contract with this club. We have to pay for the. What's this?
And by
What's
the way,
this?
that's not new because other MLS teams do that on their
Yeah,
prime
yeah, but
section.
that's nuts.
It is.
It
It's
is.
crazy.
It
I
is.
was
but
like,
it's
no,
still,
no, no,
it's
no,
still
no.
the point I was making originally made is it's just taking the everyday person out. David said it perfectly. You're going to have you know only a couple sections that are for families. The wall and that and other. I mean, they just want to turn everything into you know the majority of the Premier League. The Premier League clubs stadiums where it's sit down and everybody claps and nobody stands up. There's
Yeah.
minimal chanting. If you do chant, you get told not to, and
Really.
or at least
It is a fact,
those
John.
around you and
And Luke can back me up on this. The reason why non-league in the UK is gaining momentum is because a lot of people feel that places like the EPL no longer speak to the fans
exactly.
because it's expensive.
Well,
It's sit down, play with your phone type of thing. Go ahead, Luke.
it's the whole ideology of like the Premier League is becoming exclusive. Like you look at it, like how many teams like same. I think it's what 2 or 3 seasons in a row now. I don't think it's going to go the same way this season, at least. But 2 or 3 seasons in a row now, all three promoted teams are going back down.
Correct. That's very
All three promoted teams are going back down, and like parachute payments and whatever. But like teams like Manchester United, Man City's getting there. Liverpool
Man
zero.
City won't be there once the sanctions come down on them. Nobody
I'm
really.
sorry. I'm sorry if Liverpool. I'm sorry for all Liverpool fans. I don't like Liverpool whatsoever. By the way, no culture. Everton is an exception. I think.
I said the
Everton.
majority. I didn't say all. I said the majority. There are a
Yeah.
few exceptions to what to the but so many of them. I remember when the stadium first opened, there was a blog or a vlog or whatever that was there in the wall, or he was all over the stadium. But he did a vlog of Orlando City game day when he was in the match. I believe it was Arsenal. He was an Arsenal fan. He's like, I wish we had this atmosphere at our stadium, and this holds a quarter, basically a quarter of the people, a third of the people.
Yeah, but Arsenal
And
sold themselves when they moved from bloody their old stadium and went to the
yeah,
Emirates.
No, because it's a business and they're trying to generate revenue. And right now, EPL stadiums, 35% of the people that you see in the stands are tourists. They're not people that live in the UK. It's people that are just there for the game. And one of the things, though, before I bring this news piece, that I lost my train of thought at the time. That like I said, Luke and I support teams in League One. Is the fact that a lot of Orlando City fans that love to bring up their European experience is because they follow powerhouses. Manchester City, United, Liverpool, those teams are never going to sniff the relegation zone or be in the championship anytime
We
soon.
can only hope.
Oh yeah, it will be great for those people
We can
to
only hope.
taste humble pie. But the problem with that is that these are people that every year it's excellence. They don't
Oh
know
yeah.
what it is to fear relegation. They don't know what's to face adversity. And with that segue, this was brought up to my attention by a listener. This is from Jorge Nicola in Brazil. The owners of Orlando City are negotiating to purchase the purchase of Primavera, which will compete in the first division of the Campeonato Paulista in 2026. The deal is being brokered by former executive of the American team, which I'm assuming is Alex Leitao. Talks are in the early stages, and there's a picture with the board of directives of Primavera, and we can definitely see Luis Musi there. And it looks like they're doing some pitch renovations in the background. So Orlando City, which by the way already owns a chain of football, soccer schools, however you want to call them in Brazil, um, a place where the top talent makes it to our academy and then OCB. Um, it's they're trying to invest. They're trying to become the next Red Bulls and the next City Group. God bless them in those endeavors. But we have to invest in our future. And I think we have played Moneyball for a very long time, guys. We have played Moneyball and we have done fantastic with players that Let's be honest. If the players that they bring, I never heard of. I never heard of Marco Pasalic and David Bracolo, and Spicer. What's shocking is I found out he was like the number one pick 2 years ago out of the
last year.
last year.
Last year.
Brother, look. I pride myself by being like a well-informed MLS fan, and I didn't even know that. So they go into the depths of football world and drag players out that come on our servers who are incredible. But the reality is that when this fan base was begging for Evander to be brought here, we didn't, right? We didn't because we're not. Let's go for this Serie A legend, Luis Muriel, and
No,
Amanda.
we got Lodero instead of Evander
Are
because
they the
Lodero
same?
Lodero was on the free, and we would have had to pay a transfer fee for Evander, who was on the last year of his contract last year, because Evander, I believe
But is it
Cincinnati
though?
got Evander
How
for
did
free.
that work out?
But John, like Evander and Ladera aren't the same player, are
No, they're
they?
not.
No,
Lodero back in the day was a great player.
no, but I'm saying then they're two different types of players. They're
Well, I
not.
understand that.
Yeah.
But who would you rather have on your team? Lodero, and the reason I understand
Somebody
why.
who scores.
Somebody who puts the ball in the bloody back of the net. That's who I want.
Exactly. But they went with Lodero because he's more of your Mauricio.
Pereira.
I
Yeah.
want to say Pochettino, but
Oh.
Mauricio.
Mauricio Pereira. Yeah.
Yeah, that we have. I almost said Mauricio Pochettino, but that's a national team coach. So that's why they went with Lodero. He didn't work out, and luckily Ojeda has filled that position and is more of that goal scoring, number 10 that we needed.
By
But
the way, by the way, I just want to give a big shout out to Ojeda. I was like sitting there after the game and I was like thinking like, wow, look at where Ojeda's came from. Like he
Seriously.
was like a few years ago, like the possibly I said the worst player we've ever signed. Like he could not get his
No,
feet
that
together.
title goes to the Norwegian kid.
Oh yeah,
That
we
got
don't.
the.
He's nothing.
I think you call it the ultimate fan package.
Hey,
Woo!
I've stepped on the pitch more than him.
The fact that when they had the thank you post, they had to pick him like in warm ups. God,
That just shows
you know
growth. But
that. And by the way,
what you were
he's no
saying,
longer in
David,
MLS.
is yes, we've been playing Moneyball and it's done us well. But you see what Cincinnati's done. You see what, legally, illegally, Miami's done. You see what Charlotte's done this year. You've seen what Nashville's done. These are all teams that made huge signings this
yeah,
past year.
But John, you know what
Managerial
it is?
changes.
Even it's not even that. It's what are those signings doing? Because sometimes you can make a signing and they fall flat. Their signings
Yeah.
and their signings are actually like
yeah,
You
doing
mean like
something.
Martin, the guy that we got that goes steals a ball from Ojeda and basically shoots to section double A over there by the
Rosette.
corner. Come on.
Yeah.
Marin, yeah. But
But it's early days yet for him. I still
exactly.
think we need
That
to
I
give
give
him.
him a
We
pass.
need to
He's
give
just
him.
trying to
We
make a
need to give
play.
him a little bit of time. Now,
And his
Schlegel.
angle was a little better than Ojeda's anyway.
We need to talk about these bloody cult heroes like Schlegel, for example, who lives off that bloody glory of him playing in goal in that penalty shootout. It was like, and all of a sudden he's like invincible. Everyone's like, yeah, Schlegel in all the way. I want him gone, like on not gone out the squad completely, but he belongs on the bench, and he was meant to be a bench player, and he has done a shift. He's fully stepped into that starting role. But there are so many other centre backs out there that could take his place. And he was always meant to be a third choice centre back. He was never that
Right.
the only reason he was as he is starting at the moment is because we lost Antonio Carlos.
And we didn't have
Yeah.
anybody to play left fullback.
Yeah,
Left
and we had
fullback.
nobody to play left
Right.
back.
Because Brecalo technically was supposed to be the
Yeah,
Yeah.
replacement, but
Reclo's a
now
centre back.
because of that, right.
And with
No,
Cartagena
I'm
too.
with you. I'm with
For
it.
some reason, for some
But
reason,
it.
Schlegel always gets into this team.
You
And
know
he
what?
just had a
I'm gonna tell you
solid year. Schlegel's
Yeah.
had probably his best year in purple
Oh yeah,
this
he's
year.
absolutely.
He hasn't lost his head he's lost it, once,
he
Yeah,
maybe
hasn't been
twice.
carded in a long. Well, this game he was carded, but he's not carded for the boneheaded things that he used to do. And I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you,
As
look, I'm
much.
gonna tell you why he always is in the hearts of the people. Is because the Orlando fan base, I include myself in this group, love sweat equity. That they love they love the hype merchants. You go out there and you're running in circles and you leave soaked in sweat, and this fan base loves you. And Rodrigo has the Papi I can do that moment in 2020. Then in 2022 he had that incredible last second goal against Nashville to get us to the trophy for
To
Open Cup. You know,
celebrate.
yeah, all these guys have moments where the fan base goes nuts, and if you criticize those people, you're gonna get in a knife fight with somebody. You know what I mean?
but
That's
David,
basically what it is.
do you know what I like?
Go ahead,
Consistent,
brother.
good footballers. That's what I
Well,
like.
you have a
I
long
like
road ahead,
good
my friend.
footballers.
We got a long road ahead of you.
I like good footballers. That's what I like. You could have
Listen,
all the. You could be the most boring guy in the world, right? I don't care. Dumbest guy. boring, whatever, no energy. But if you do your job correctly, you're in my good books. I don't care
I,
how
I'm
much.
I'm
That's why
like you. I'm
that's
like
why
you on
he
that.
loves Brecalo.
You
That's
know,
why I like
He
Brecalo.
doesn't do any. He doesn't do anything fantastic on the field. He makes a
Yeah,
solid play. He'll carry the ball in the
yeah,
space, but he doesn't do anything spectacular.
no,
You
he's
know,
there and he
guys,
does his
what do
job
these guys get paid to do? What's the primary thing that these guys get paid
to
to
do
do?
their bloody job.
win
Hopefully,
matches.
Play
Their job
football.
is to
Play
win
football.
matches.
Right? I don't understand why our fan base needs to agree with them politically, needs to know their kids' names, needs to know where they from, where they hang out. I understand that back in USL
they're
when
not my
we,
mates.
we had guys that were working part time at the soccer store in the Florida Mall, or they were waiting tables. Legendary
Yeah,
Jamie Watson was waiting tables at a restaurant, and fans used to go there, help him out, all that. The point is that people love tailgating with the players and their families. We're a professional football club in a first division in one of the richest countries in the world. Okay, and those days are over. I'm sorry, guys. Those days are long gone. I want football players to go into the pitch, kill the opposition, win lift trophies, and quite honestly, I think social media has destroyed this thing. To me, in the past, football players lived 90 minutes. They were alive. They went down that tunnel. What they did after that, I don't know, and I don't care
Unless
because
you're Ronaldinho and you're
exactly.
picking
But
take.
nowadays we have a window into their life. We know that they're
yeah.
the whose wives are pregnant, and when they're going to see their family, and when their family, and that's all beautiful. But we can't lose focus on what's the primary purpose of our fandom is to support a club that wins games. And I'm sad to say that we have lost that north once again. Like, I gotta give you an example. This is how far detached we are here in Orlando from football culture. This past weekend, I saw the trophy for the Hudson Derby, which is basically the arm of the Statue of Liberty holding the the
Torch.
flame, the torch, which I thought was beautiful. It's a beautiful touch. We also saw Vancouver and Seattle. Vancouver ended up lifting the trophy for the Cascadian Cup. Why is it? Why is it that in the Southeast we can have a Dixie Cup? You know what I'm saying? We can't have a or at least.
Politically, they wouldn't let us have a Dixie Cup.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, I know. Well, is Dixie a register mark? Because Dixie
Yes,
means
the
South.
Mason. It's because of the Mason Dixon line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
would, but the sentiments there have some, a cup with us that in Miami. That's an
right,
alligator.
right. We need to bring back. Luke started talking about this, and we deviated into something else. We need to bring that pride of the local derby. Obviously, I know, in a nation as big as ours, but the teams in the Southeast, I find it very hard that support groups can get together and say, hey, we're gonna collect money. Let's ask the fan base. I will throw a $10 bill into the pile. Let's make a trophy, and the team with the most points, hey, is the king of the South, whatever you want to call it. But
No, I don't think
you
it's
don't
that.
want that.
But
It's not.
David,
It's
you're
not that.
you're asking.
We need to start by one. The club, as in Orlando City, needs to start selling tickets, away tickets, to general freaking supporters instead of their own bloody fan club. Like, I shouldn't be asking a supporters group to go away and support my club. The club should be providing me that option. Why do I have to go to a supporters group who've got no jurisdiction over who I support, over where I travel to do that? It's down to the club. The club gives the tickets out. And it's down. I'm not bashing the supporters groups, right? because they're only doing what they get, and they just have the system. But it's down to the club. Like, give the freaking supporters, like all of us, all of the people who paid to go to the game, freaking tickets. Like,
Well, I
they
feel
should.
like that's part of the culture problem too.
Yeah,
Is especially here,
Then
people
the
don't
club
think
said,
you're a supporter unless you're a member of the supporter group.
I'm a season ticket holder.
Yeah,
didn't the club said that if you're going out to away games that they were gonna pay for the ticket? Am I wrong or
he's talking about the specifically the match we had in Tampa,
Yeah.
where you either had to go on the Rowdies website and buy them, and then you'd be sitting with
okay?
the
So
masses.
instruct me. Talk to me like I'm five guys, because my understanding is that we were again. I don't know because I haven't been blessed going to an away day because a lot of different things. But I thought we were doing it like in Europe where there's an allotment to the away section, and you purchase that ticket through either our front office or theirs. There's no such thing.
But you don't like
There
if
is the allotment, but you have to, in order to get that allotment, you have to be a member of the supporter group. But then
or you have to know
ILF,
the section that the supporters group is going to be in to get the same
Okay,
section. Like
if you're lucky enough, a lot of
if I wanted to
times,
go buy a ticket to Miami to the next Miami match, the away match, I would I would go to the Miami site. I wouldn't be able to say I want to buy a ticket in the Orlando away supporters section, right? Because I don't know what that is. I would have to find somebody who knows what section they're sitting in so I could buy tickets in that section. Otherwise, I go to the Miami site and I'd be buying tickets anywhere in the stadium that they want to sell them to me in the middle of a whole
where's the
bunch of
fun in
Miami
that?
fans.
or you have to go through somebody that's a member of one of the supporter groups.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Do,
let's
do
say
you
you're a
guys
normal
think? Do
let's
you
say
guys
you're a
think that
normal fan to this point.
we are at a level of football in this nation where the era of the mixed crowd is coming to an end?
One
Yes.
hundred percent. And
Thank you, John.
Luke is off camera right now, but I know he would agree with me.
What are you saying?
Having the mixed crowds where home and away sit next to each
I
other.
swear, no. It's a safety problem. It's safety. Like, and you know what? That I think the only derby that could change this, which I bloody hate it, I do, because we're not in basketball or we're not in American football, right? This is football, like European football. Like, there's a tradition, and this is global. This is not just in England, so I'm not speaking from an English perspective. If a Barcelona fan was sitting in the home end of the Bernabeu, he'd get his head kicked in. He'd get his absolute head kicked in.
We've said that on the show before, Luke, and and it's just we're not endorsing the violence by any mean.
No, but the
But
clubs are.
yeah, but the clubs. I mean, you look at the scenes that happened. Was it L.A. and or no Seattle and
Guys,
Miami after the
don't
match?
go too far. Remember when the New York City fans stole the seat and beat up the cops and ended up getting arrested? And one of them stole my son's iPad and gloated about it. The third rail bozos gloated about it on social media. This is we're all over the place today, but this is my point. What I was trying to get with this is if the idea of keeping all the fans as a nucleus, right, as a whole, why is it that the club is deferring the away travel and safety of the attendees to the supporter group rather than like embracing that responsibility themselves?
Exactly. It's
Because
almost like
it's the way it was set up when the club was founded.
Well,
Shortly thereafter.
things
But
change.
honestly, I think all the clubs are doing that too, aren't they? Isn't that the same way it is with the majority of the clubs?
I know some clubs I've heard, seen, whatever. Some clubs will do like a quote unquote pre-sale for the um
Because even like
for
during
But
away
the
matches,
club remains having the responsibility. My point is, things change. When our country was founded, you could beat up your wife, you could have own slaves. We have changed all that, right? Things change. So I don't understand why is it that the club still treats their relationship with the supporter groups as if we were back in USL, and then wonder
That is
why
a
problems.
conversation, David. That is for off
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, but I think, but
Okay.
you know what? But the thing is,
Fine.
like, if you look at
Uh,
the games that we have, when we have visiting clubs, right? They have their supporters groups in the section, right? But then
right.
they have people who are not part of those supporters groups throughout the stadium.
Correct.
Why? It's not those people's fault. It's because the clubs are doing that way. So
Yeah.
it
That's
But
yeah.
that it
it
needs
is
to
because
be
like
like they
every
do
time
it
I
in
see
other
every
countries. If you're with the away team,
no,
you
no, I
go.
get it. I agree with you. What I'm saying is, it's all of the clubs are doing it because when we
Yeah,
have visiting clubs, you have the supporters section with the supporters, right? But then you have regular fans who are not part of those supporters clubs, regardless of which team we're talking about, and they're sitting throughout the stadium. So what we're talking about is going to require all of the clubs agreeing to do it that way. So you have a designated section for the away team to be
Yeah.
sitting in. And
Right.
but you know what? But they don't want to. You know why they don't want to do that? Because the exactly, it's all about the money. So if the Miami fans, if they want the Miami fans to buy the West Club seats, guess what? They're gonna let them buy the West Club seats.
That to
those
me is
seats are
insanity.
usually a little
Complete
different
insanity.
overseas, though.
What I
Complete
can't
No, no,
insanity.
I'm
what
saying here. I'm saying here in the
No,
states.
I know, but club
Yeah,
seats usually are a little
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
because of the
Well,
price.
guys, we're definitely running out of time. So
yeah.
I would like to listen. I could talk for hours about this. I would like to mention that this Saturday we are welcoming Columbus to meet a derby. You know, their arrival. They are 100,000% arrival, and we have an opportunity to send them into Misery Town. All I'm gonna say is, to me personally, critical game. I said it. You know that I feel that we're playing for our season here. Some people want to downgrade that for whatever reason, and I respect that opinion. But the fact of the matter is that if you have the opportunity to be there, please be there. Support the boys.
Yeah.
I
And they
think
do
that
have some
the game
injuries. Columbus
against
Crew does have some
Vancouver,
injuries.
it has a lot of nuances to itself, and you know, to be, you know, the game against Vancouver is our a Latin night, and there's a lot of going for that. This is nitty gritty football. What's happening Saturday? So if you have the opportunity to go. I'm definitely going. A loss is a devastating event.
But David,
So
it's fan appreciation night on Saturday.
what is fan appreciation night?
Yeah,
can they appreciate me with a bloody win?
Yeah, do that. 3 points.
That's
Do
the
that.
only way they can appreciate
Score
me is
goals.
to get a bloody win.
Score goals.
Ah,
Listen,
yes.
I have to tell you guys, I have been here and I have taken it up the tailpipe from this club for many years. I'm not going anywhere. So me threatening that I'm gonna quit is not truthful. So, but yeah, how about going out there and doing something that is truly appreciating your fans, giving them a show, score
Yeah.
goals, win.
A good performance.
Yeah. And
I
honestly,
Absolutely.
I do have a prediction for Saturday.
Oh no.
oh, let's hear
Oh
it,
no.
There
I
man.
isn't
don't
going
like
to be
predictions, John. It's nothing against you. I just don't like them.
no. This is I'm being facetious here. There isn't going to be a single giveaway, prize, etc. winner in the supporter section.
No. No.
That's a
During
That's a,
prediction.
fan
Wow.
you know what?
appreciation
That's the
night,
best prediction I've heard all night.
Oh my god. Honestly, you know what? As far as this match goes, this is probably one of the ones that should be winnable for us. Not
Don't
no, I'm not usually one to say that. Trust me, I am not.
No, but
But
don't
the,
say that because you know what's happening if you say that.
because the only reason that made me think of it is because they have had several injuries,
Yeah.
right? And the injuries were the ones honestly that worried me the most. Diego Rossi and their new striker, who I was actually like amazed when I heard that, but it is what it is. So, um,
Abu Ali's out.
yeah,
I
for
talked
6
about
weeks with a hairline fracture in his ankle.
Rossi's out.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
Farsi's out.
on paper,
Farsi's out.
Yeah.
it looks promising. But we all
But
know
what?
that it's not played on paper, and we know that we're missing Schlegel.
Wait, we
He's
are.
good, huh?
We are.
Sawatsky's out too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we are missing
Their
Slagle.
center back.
yeah. That's why the whole begging thing, because he knew he was going to be out. I guarantee you, he knew with that yellow that he was missing this match.
For Thomas
Depending on it,
Williams.
but
David, they aren't going to play Thomas. It's going to be he's going to move Brecklow in
Brecklow
the
He's
center
probably
back
gonna put Smith
and
in.
put
I
Smith
know,
on
but
at
yeah,
left back
I'm I'm gonna
if
speak it
um
into existence. I
if,
listen.
if Gervais healthy, Smith will be the left back. If
I'm on
Gervais not
record.
healthy, it'll be Marin.
I'm on
Who's
record.
who's going to be the goal
I've been
scorer?
huge on Williams from way for years, and Thomas, if you're listening to this, I don't know why would you, but um, the fact is, I feel that the kid is a talented footballer. Life story incredible. I am for the little guy working for the dream. To me, yeah, it's what this country is all about, and it's a kid, a local kid that is super talented. I watched the game against Carolina Core, and I'm here to tell you that Thomas Williams has earned a place in the first team. And, you know, we can't continue playing it safe. I'd rather lose by 10 goals with 11 men that are committed, that are willing to fight till the death, than end up with a tie, playing conservatively with players that can't care less if they're here next year. And I'm sorry, that's just part of football. I want these guys to play to the whistle, and I think Thomas Williams can do that. That if it's not gonna happen, okay, fine. I'll cry myself to sleep again. But the fact of the matter is that why are we having an academy and why are we having a development team if those guys can go and play on the pitch? Because you know what, we dragged them from North Carolina into Cincinnati just to sit on the bench. To me, that was insane. They play 90 minutes. What are we bringing them in to do?
Yep.
What to just
Well, and the thing is too, David, is you watch him 3 years ago, so he would have been what 18? I think it was 19 when he started against the Rowdies
Yes,
in the Open Cup, and you
correct.
watched him play, and I thought, I mean, I was there a lot. I was there in person. I thought he was fantastic. And you forgot to mention one thing about him that I know is very important to him is you won't meet a nicer person either. Won't meet a nicer family. His whole family's amazing. But even that aside, even if he wasn't a nice person, why isn't he? You watch OCB and there is a clear difference when he's playing for OCB at the center back position and when he's not. Clear. They're so disorganized when he's
Thousand
not in.
percent. So my question, and no disrespect to Kyle Smith, who I think is an incredible guy, Cincinnati native, got to play in front of family and friends, and most likely he's playing his very last Orlando City games. There's a good possibility he's not coming back. That said, what does he have over Williams? Williams has the height,
experience.
has a speed, has an aerial game, he's been playing professional football for a few years already. Is it that we fear the unknowns, the intangibles, the mistakes? Listen, you have Rodrigo Schlegel taking legs off in critical games, getting red cards. Nobody bats an eye when it comes to that. What's the fear with Williams? And
It's the
I
it's the
working
unknown.
myself
You
into
know,
anger
No,
you,
that's
you
here.
what
know
I'm saying. Is what would you rather have? Like a potential. I'm not calling him a Lamborghini, of course, but a Lamborghini that kind of like starts, but is like a bit risky. Or do you want that reliable Toyota Corolla who can definitely put a shift in?
Fantastic
Like,
analogy, my friend.
like
That's what it is.
And
He
real
can
quick,
get you from point A to point B and do a job.
we do have a first time viewer that just commented. His handle is DoorDash Driver. Said this is his first time watching the show, and he said usually I just listen to the audio
Thank
podcast
you, my brother. I appreciate
while
this.
working.
Fair enough.
But didn't mean to cut you off there, Luke. I just wanted to bring that up because I know
No,
we're
it's all right.
wrapping up.
It's
But
your show, not mine.
we've been yelling we've been yelling Thomas Williams' name for years now. When Janssen went down earlier in the year, that's a like
When
for
he
like.
had his surgery, you guys remember when he broke he broke it the his bone that he
Mhm.
had surgery at at the Joint Institute. One of my customers, by the way, I gotta say that. But the point is, and listen, we're not singling out Williams. I think it's the most obvious.
Well, yeah.
I
Well, Caraballo's getting his chances.
Well,
right.
to back what you're saying, and I'm not just going to say because I did back Smith then, but to play the other side, what's the point of the B team if you're not bringing people through? You know, what are they going to be like a full time? Are they going to be considered an OCB legend? No. The whole point of OCB is to bring these young players through and get experience. At some point, you're gonna have to bring these young kids through. He's
A
not
thousand
getting
percent.
any younger. He's 21 years of age.
Well, I think he's 22 now.
I think he's 22.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I think he's around my age.
He was signed. He was signed when he just at 17, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
the point is, and by the way, he's a champion with the U17s. If if I'm wrong with that, please clarify for me. But the point is that what upsets me, okay, what really upsets me is that we have seen players at OCB age out, basically. Moises Tablante to me was a huge loss for the team. The situation with Wilfredo Rivera, I'm butthurt. I gotta admit that. I'm Puerto Rican. I really put a lot of stock into this young man, and to see him playing in the Puerto Rico Professional League, which is nothing but a UPSL league, for crying out loud, it bothers me. But the point that I'm trying to make is right now, this weekend, we need a center back. Kyle Smith is a guy that can play one on a pinch, but is not the best choice. And I'm here to say, and
Well, he
I
won't
don't,
play.
I don't.
Well, David, he won't play centre back. He won't play. He won't play centre back. He'll play. He'll shift.
If Gervais healthy, he will.
Yeah.
Or no, left back. He'll play left back, and they'll
Yeah.
move Brecalo over.
Yeah, he'll move Brecalo into centre back, and he'll play full
Oh
back.
yeah, I forgot about that formula. But Kyle Smith can play.
Yeah, Kyle
center back.
Smith can play centre back, but Brecalo.
But,
We forget Brecalo's a
there-
centre back.
we lose quality at in either in the center back position or in the left back position based on the situation that we have now.
I'm not doubting
My-
that we're thin.
No,
We
no,
are
absolutely.
thin.
But
We are
my
thin.
thing is if you have to replace a center back for center back, I'd rather have Thomas Williams. I just on record on that. I think he deserves his chance, and I just think that it's time for our OCB guys to contribute to the first team and not just be
Yeah.
just be players that just for the sake of being
When you
players.
talk
I feel like
about
he
aging
needs to be.
out,
I feel
David,
like he needs to be.
he's got to be
injured.
getting close to that. He is 21, Luke. You were right. He just turned 21 in August. I thought he was already 21. But he's getting close to that. You got to think Fabian Loyola, who's been with OCB, what, 3 or 4 years now?
Yeah, in my opinion, Loyola is not gonna be here next year.
He's getting to be where he's aging out. Thomas
Right.
Williams, Thomas was really our first, I'll say, quote unquote, true homegrown that we had.
Correct.
And we're just going to, yes, he just signed an extension, an extension on his homegrown as a homegrown, but at some point, he's going to make the professional decision of, well, I've been with the reserve team for 5-6 years now. I haven't gotten a shot when guys have gone down with injury, when guys have left, X, Y, and Z. Am I ever really going to get a shot?
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm sure those conversations are happening, or he's been told, hey, this happens, it's yours. Robin retires, you're next up. And
We're exploiting the love that these kids have for the organization because they're local kids. And
Well,
one local kid doesn't want to play for for the team that they got to see from the stands. And to be honest with you, that's cheap. That is cheap. You know, Thomas Williams and Carvalho and all the OCB guys, they are worthy of deserving a shot if they have the talent. And I believe he does.
and the
And
thing is it's not just OCB he was performing for. He was a consistent member of the youth national teams for the
and the
U.S.
academy here. I mean,
He has that. He was on the U20s. He was on the U17s. He played at that level, and then essentially, and I mean he's only 21. Luke's going to say he's not a kid. He's still a kid.
He's a kid. He's a kid. He's a kid. He's a kid.
um, but at some point his him being a kid's going to run out, and to me that's in the next year or
Yeah.
two, and
and you
he's
know,
going to have to for his own career move to a team that's going to play him.
and you
Well,
eliminate
John,
the
John.
Taifi injury. I'm sorry, Luca.
No,
If
you're
you
right.
allow me, if you eliminate that, you know, Taifi was on his way, in my opinion, to work towards that starting role, and that's beautiful. We you know how many years these kids sit in OCB day in day out, and the best they can aspire to is 3 4 minutes in a game, or just being called to be on the bench. Go ahead, Luke.
The decision's already got. That I was just gonna say whether he's going or not going or whatever like that. Something's going on. It's already been made. It's
Mhm.
September. Like it's
Well,
the
I don't think he's leaving this year, but I'm
no,
saying
but
next year,
but he's
definitely, definitely,
already talking about his future
yeah,
with the club. He's already asking if you're going to bring in another centre back and I'm not in your plans, then I'm going to go.
yeah.
Like because he's like I'm 22 next year. Like that's what he's probably going to say.
I mean, this is a guy. If he, you know, if
He's
it
a
wasn't
professional
for
footballer.
Johnson, would probably be in playing, in somewhere in Europe, the championships here, potentially, a Serie A, Bundesliga, one of the, not Premier League, but one of the mid level teams in like Bundesliga or Serie A potentially. Serie A would love him
Hmm.
with his That's nice
Nice
size.
to hear. I just think we're wasting a great talent, and this is an opportunity. It's at home. It's against a team that is riddled with injuries. Easy pickings to me. This is the opportunity to give to these young men that I think. Listen, if we are not testing these young men at difficult times, how do we know they're gonna be the players that we need in the future? If all we're doing is throwing them in this MLS Next Pro League that is just a step above academy. That's just my thought.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it is a big match, David. I looking at the table. I hadn't looked at the table last night when you said that, and I went on shortly after you did on Den After Dark. It is for this is a match for our season because when you look at the table, we lose. Columbus is we're in eighth. If we
It'll
win,
be fine, John. It'll be fine.
we could move up to fifth
It'll be
if
I
fine.
the
wish I had
results
that
go
mentality.
our way.
Man, Ahmed is the guy that I
It'll
wish
be
I had this
fine, guys.
positivity. I am doom and gloom. Doom and
Come
gloom.
on. There's
I'm
always
not.
next year. I
I
can't
don't
even
like
say that.
David. I
I
wouldn't
can't
like to
even
say
say that
I'm
with a
doom and
straight
gloom.
face.
David, I wouldn't like to say I'm doom and gloom, but I would like to say I'm a realist.
No, you are. Listen, listen. You are because you have been forged in the fires of the EFL. Plain and simple. I understand where you're coming from,
Yes.
and again, as long as people treat going to the stadium as an opportunity to hang out with friends and have a few beers and be entertained, because next year we get to do it all over again. It's gonna be like that. Not to be a party pooper, but we already have gone 14 minutes over our usual time.
Yeah.
So, guys, excuse me. Final words as we head out into Saturday. By the way, I believe is either tomorrow or Wednesday. the final for the Open Cup. We wish well to Austin and Nashville. Rivals to the side. Is our nation's trophy, and I'm so happy that we get to once again crown a champion, and hopefully next year will be us. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for that watched us live, everybody that is gonna listen to us later. Our friend DoorDash driver, thank you for
We
coming
got
on
two more
and
comments from him too, David. When
yes. Well, before you do that, I just want to remind everybody I'm not gonna be here next Monday, so I'll leave you with in the capable hands of our friends here. And again, thank you. I have received some messages from people that enjoy what we do, and to me that means the world. And I have, like I said, it as long as 5 people and my mom included keep watching and listening, we're gonna keep doing the show. Thank you guys.
yeah, DoorDash driver, continued. He said, "None of y'all look like what I thought you looked like." Obviously, Messiah's not here. Luke took his place
Yeah.
today, so you didn't get the chance to see him. I hope that means we look better than you thought we did.
Speak for
And then
yourself. I'm as everybody knows, I'm the best looking Orlando City supporter.
Yeah.
and then he continued with it. He's got a run that he'll catch the rest on the audio side. But as far as Saturday goes, just I've said it for what 4 weeks now. Just win,
That's it.
Yeah.
just win. I don't care how. I don't care if we win, 1-0. I mean, me and Luke will be sitting there cursing in the stands at the team if we are, but
Oh, yeah.
that is if you're coming in. But you know, just win. I just want to see a win. I want to see us move up in the table. If we win tomorrow, it makes the Vancouver match a heck of a lot less important than if we lose.
Oh, and a special message to our friend Taylor Williams, Orlando City, UK, because I know he's gonna be listening to this tomorrow. Please take pictures when you go to the game on Saturday, and let people know that you're my buddy, so they can treat you right. Because as everybody knows, I'm a Stevenage beloved legend over there at the Lamex Stadium. So Taylor, remember that to tell people that you know me, and they will
David, you
take
might
care.
get a stand named after you.
Listen, they might. They might. I am beloved there. They love me. So
Luke, I don't know if you see it on social media or not, but the way the Stevenage supporters treat David, it's like he's royalty to them.
It's royalty.
I'm not exaggerating. It
Well, no
is
wonder they've all got their
mind
own.
blowing.
Um, they've got their own bloody WhatsApp group. There's only 30 of them.
I don't know about that. All I know is they have the best international supporter group here in the United States. It's just me and my kids, but we're a rowdy bunch. But no. Yeah, man. I just like I said.
Yeah,
I have learned so much from the English game, and I would love for us to imitate the positive in that here in Orlando. But I guess we'll leave that for the next show.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Luke, Ahmed, any final thoughts?
Yeah, Luke, what are your thoughts, man?
Win, please. That's it. Just win at
You
all
know,
costs. It's a
yeah,
must win. So
it is. It really is. And I think all we're asking for is just a good match. Play the
yeah.
way we should be playing. Play with the talent that you have and just win. A win is great, but a good match is even better. If we go down fighting the way we should be playing, I don't think anybody will complain. But it's
Oh,
just the way that we've been playing. It's just, gosh,
also, if
yes.
anyone on the coaching staff is watching this, kick towards the wall in the bloody second half.
I'm not kidding you. He loses his mind when the players come on the pitch. Like they'll come back, they'll do the national anthem and everything, do the huddle, they'll take the team pictures. Every time they start taking the team pictures, he's already throwing a fit because they line up right in front of the bench. And I have to remind him, no, they're doing the pictures. You got to wait. And then when they come out onto the pitch and they're kicking towards the wall in the first half, you
Oh
would
my
you know,
god.
I'm shocked he hasn't left a match yet when it happens. Honestly,
I'm sick and tired of it. If anybody on the coaching staff is watching this, tell them kick towards the wall in the second half. It's tradition.
Tell Janssen after practice he needs to sit there and have somebody flip a coin for him,
Yeah, somebody has
so
to
he gets
practice coin flip
the
with him or
the,
something.
the rhythm of it better.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny. Maybe we'll get to see that on the ref cam next time.
Please.
Don't get me started. We'll be here till 11:50.
Anyway, all right. So let's wrap it up. So we're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable, and that football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger, have you ever really footballed? For David, John, Luke, Misael, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!